how did you get involved with this project?
I received a phone call out of the blue from Adam Sandler, which is the way we always start to work. It's really nuts. Every movie I've ever done with him, from Longest Yard to Click to Benchwarmers, always started with a phone call. Like, hey, Terry, you want to do this? And it's like, oh, yes, of course. And basically, I read the script, and it wasn't a lot there. We were kind of like, we were trying to see what works. And this is the nature of comedy. It's not a bad thing. It's just sometimes, jokes always have to be, built and created and made. And I saw the character a little differently than what was in the script. So we started experimenting, and I sent them pictures of a wig. I sent them pictures of the suits and this kind of thing. And Frank and Adam were like, "That's a good idea. Let's try something out. Let's do this." And Adam was coming up with song lyrics and stuff like this, and we just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And Nickens was born. And when Nickens was born, the world will never be the same.
So tell us a little bit about Nickens then.
Nickens is basically the South African Tom Jones. He is an entertainer at this resort who's responsible for your enlightenment, for your pleasure, to keep you having fun, to keep you blending, and keeping you entertained. And it's funny because he seems to know everything about everybody in the whole resort. And he knows what's happening, he's watching, he's looking, and he's sneaking up on you. But Nickens, again, he feels he's the world's biggest entertainer, and pound for pound, he probably is. He's 240 pounds of pure singing and dancing.
Now, you said that a lot of this was unscripted. Were you able to put a little bit of improv on site into Nickens?
Oh yeah, I mean, we came up with so much stuff. There's so much stuff that didn't make it, because we were just flying off the seat of it. We had a whole segment where it was like, who do die? It was like these hip moves that I don't know if they figured they might be a little too much for TV, you know what I mean? But we had a whole thing that didn't make it, but the things that did were great. But that's comedy. That's really, a lot of people say, improv is wonderful, but it's only wonderful with a great editor. Because you end up with stuff that's, if you sit and watch improv all day, you're like, okay, that's not good. So what happened is we took all the best parts, and Frank just did the greatest job putting the best parts of Nickens together, and you have what you have now.
Now, you've worked with Frank before,
yes,
right?
So we did Click together.
So how was that working with him again?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, it's funny because I had a scene in Click where I was singing this song, everyone's watching to see what you do. And we had this whole kind of like, I'm singing to him and he clicks me off. And, Frank and I, we actually did some more things that didn't make the movie, but because we just enjoy doing more stuff. And to get the chance to work with Frank again, it was like picking up where we left off. It was just like, now it was a much bigger role, because Click was more of a cameo, and now I got to spend some months with Frank over in South Africa. We're a 24-hour flight away from home. So we got to know each other really, really good. We ate together, hung out together, and Frank is a genius director. I mean, he knows the tone. And it's very hard to detect tone in comedy. It's really, really hard. There's some things that people think are funny when they're doing it, and it's not, but he always gets it, and he gets Adam.
And this has a great cast to it, too. I mean, everybody seems to work really well together on screen. Did you get to spend a lot of time with the other cast members since you were all in South Africa together?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's funny because my kids came up and got to spend a little time with Bella and some of the other kids on the movie. I mean, we all kind of went to the same places and ate at the same spots. But one of the biggest, best things ever, Adam took some of his people, the Happy Madison people, and some of the actors got to go on safari in a place called Madikwe, which was incredible. It was like 40 miles south of Botswana, and I mean, we saw the real Africa, and it was, breathtaking. It was scary, It was breathtaking. It was beautiful. It was a real adventure, like for real. And I never felt so small. You know, it's one of those things where you realize, man, if I step out of this car, I could be dead within hours. That was the realistic thing. It was like, how did anyone survive? You know, but people have been surviving there for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And it's, you got to survive with your brain. And we followed the guides and we understood what was happening, but we saw some really scary animals. Like, you know, when you see a real lion up close, and we were just like, me, Adam, all of us. I mean, Adam was actually attacked by a cat. We went to a cat park and the cat jumped on his head and it was like, oh my God. He thought he was dead. He really did. He's like, it's over. Goodbye. I'm done. And we all were like, oh no, we're going to go home early. But it turns out he was okay and we were good.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. So who do you hope goes to see this film?
You know, it's for whole families. That's what it's about. You know, the Happy Madison Clan have been known for, you know, what they call base humor. But I like base humor. You need base. You need a base for everything. But the great thing about it, with the addition of Drew takes that and it elevates. It starts to elevate. It's really beautiful. Nothing wrong with a great Happy Madison guy base humor flick. There's nothing wrong with that. But Drew and the addition of that adds the heart. And she's funny too, don't get me wrong, very funny. But there's such a sweetness and a heart that really makes the whole family enjoy and understand, and kids and everyone. It's a really, my whole family's coming to the premiere, and it's just one of those movies that you can feel, because there's a magic between those two. With The Wedding Singer, with 50 First Dates, and with this, you will catch feelings. I like to call it catching feelings. I mean, I'm laughing, and all of a sudden I'm like, what is that? Wait a minute, what? That popcorn in my throat, what happened? I'm feeling emotional right now. And it's just that magical way that they have. And it's something that we see from them as a couple, and we've been seeing it for years, and it makes sense.